Hello again, good people.
We're still here.
We're here.
Yeah.
Annwilson is just about to go on tour with Heart, February 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just while we're here, do you have any Vegas memories that come to mind right now?
I'm sure I must.
You can think on it for a minute.
Yeah.
Let me just tell the people where else you're going to be, and you can think on that for a second to pick out one that may come to mind. We got Las Vegas on February 28th, March 1st as well in Vegas, March 3rd, Los Angeles, California at Crypto, March 4th, Sacramento, California, and March 6th, Phoenix, Arizona. There's some more coming, but those are what's coming right up. Heart-music.com will take you to the place to buy your tickets if you don't already have them. And anything in Vegas come to mind?
Yes, I once went and saw Cher at Caesar's Coliseum in Vegas with Nancy and a few other cronies. And it was really an amazing show. And I'm really not much on, showbiz type shows and all that, but that just kind of blew me away because of the extent of her costume changes, and it's just how they presented her. And it turned out that she knew we were there, and she asked us if we wanted to go up to her penthouse afterward. So we all went upstairs to her penthouse where she was living, and she let us walk through her costume room.
Wow.
And it was all there, like the big Indian headdress and everything that she wore on other shows. And we actually got into her hot tub with her and just chilled,
Whoa.
It was very cool.
It's very strange that you just told that story because someone wrote in, they asked a question about Cher, following up from your book, whether or not you'd met her in these later years.
Have not met her in these later years, but I know that she is a really fine, down-to-earth person. Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot of bullshit going on there, I don't think.
No, nobody thinks.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, the Heart rehearsals are finished as of today.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And it sounds great. I mean, what can I say? This band sounds amazing. That's probably not enough of a word to describe what it is. It's just the best, to me, in my opinion, it's the best that Heart's ever sounded. And just in terms of power and intensity, the ability to go really tender if we want, and then turn around and just melt your face. And yeah, it's an amazing, very cool band. I'm honored to be in it.
Is there a song that they've played for you that, I guess, woke the song up to you maybe, or brought about a new life to it?
Yeah, I think Mistral Wind was one of them. That's a really challenging song for anybody in the band because it's got different time signatures and it drops beats here and there, and it's like a journey that goes. It starts one place, and then it goes through this other place, and then it ends up somewhere altogether different by the end. So you have to be there and aware and mindful of exactly what you're playing. And over the years, in different incarnations of Heart, we've had a few different train wrecks with that song. So it's always kind of a thrill whenever we're done with it, and it went really well. We all kind of go like, yes, we did it. We crossed the tightrope.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this band. Occasionally you can witness a mistake.
Yeah, you can.
With this live act.
Mm-hmm.
Considering you're all still playing live, no click tracks, no even backing vocal tracks, nothing.
Right. And it's not even an act.
Yeah. No, not at all. Good point. Well, we are doing something a little bit differently tonight. Last night, we got done with the heart rehearsals, and it was kind of like, oh, Annwilson, y'all, has given us a lot right now. Let's give her a night off. I had a couple of my buddies come over, and we just nerded out over your catalog together.
Wow.
So we're going to put that on in a little bit for our listeners to listen along with us. Because the thing about you is I can't sit here and show you how fantastic your music is, you know.
Yeah, and I can't hear it anyway because I'm too close to it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to give you any kind of a rational critique,
No.
even if I wanted to.
And I'm all about spreading the word of Annwilson, getting this music out into all the ears possible. So a couple of my buddies came over. We sat in a little circle and we just listened to songs, talked about life. They brought up our own stuff, personal stuff. And they are a couple of incredible musicians. Theo Katzman is a part of a quite popular musical group named Wolfpack. And Dave Scalia toured with us as the drummer for El King in the 2019 Heart Tour. And we talk about a little bit of the 2019 Heart Tour with him. What do you remember about the 2019 tour?
Yeah.
And El King.
Yeah. That was the first time Nancy and I had gotten back together on stage after a long separation. And we'd worked things out. And we're still in the process of working things out at that point. But I gotta tell you, the music was the grease that just really helped us look beyond little petty things like a sisterly guffaw and just look at the big picture and what's important and how do we really feel about each other and all that. So that's what I remember the mostly. But I also remember El King, of course, and what a good head she is, and just like a really great performer and all around human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people will find interesting what song I would choose first to show someone who doesn't know much of your catalog aside from Barracuda, Crazy on You, the hits.
Right.
And I chose first Up on Cherry Blossom Road.
Oh, right. Yeah.
From the road home. I don't remember. That song only exists on a live album. What's the reasoning for that as far as you remember or know? And where did that song come from?
Well, the whole point in having that be a live record is that we didn't have a performance album at that time. From beginning to end, actually live in a club. It's the first time we ever did it. And John Paul Jones produced that record. We got together at this little club in Seattle called The Backstage and rehearsed for almost a month.
Wow.
And John Paul wrote these string charts because all the songs we were going to do were just acoustic versions. It's an unplugged concert. And so so we got in the club on I think we did 3 or 4 nights actually recording, and we got an album out of it. And a couple of the songs, John Paul Jones is playing bass. And it's just, you should have seen the people in the audience when he steps up and slings a bass around his neck.
Oh, man.
God, it was cool.
And probably you, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nancy and I were just like, the first night we went into rehearsal with him, we were just totally fangirls. And we got back to the car after rehearsal and we're just like, are you kidding me? And and so we had a great time doing that. And he's a brilliant musician. That's an understatement. And such a gentleman.
And this was coming right out of All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You era.
Yeah. We were kind of in the process of trying to peel that off at that point because it was just so static, you know.
Well, by God, you did with that record.
Well, you go back to Seattle in the 90s, and you can't very well be stuck in the 80s. I mean, we let all the air out of our hairdos really quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that record has influenced a lot of singers, I can tell you that.
Now the summer's come and gone. I feel September coming on. You're still burning on my skin. Lord, I want those sweet raindrops to begin. Cool this fever and keep me home. Up on Cherry Blossom Road. Now you're as mean as I am good, and I'd stop coming if I could. You laugh at all my schoolgirl fears, and you tell me when you want me, little girl, I'll be here. I trade my body for my soul. Up on Cherry Blossom Road. Yeah. So blow, cruel wind, take me back to his door. He'll take me in. Yeah, I walk away a woman. I did. I walk away a woman. Walk away. Walk away. Just walk away. Walk away. Ooh, yeah. In my virgin bed alone, like a hostage to the phone. I know that he ain't far away, and I know that, Lord, he don't feel this kind of pain. I hate him, Lord, I want him so.
Up on Cherry Blossom Road.
Wow.
Annwilson, ladies and gentlemen.
That was insane, man.
It's incredible.
We have here, folks, Theo Katzman.
Hello.
And we also have the great, the powerful Dave Scalia. This is an insane combo.
That was I had not heard that recording.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
incredible.
man.
That is from The Road Home.
I like, as much as I want to sit here and talk with you, I like, a huge part of me is like, okay, thanks so much. I'm gonna go home and listen to that, just that whole record. Just you never like you watch you walk in a good concert and like as soon as it hits, you're like, okay, I gotta get out of here and go write music.
Yeah.
This is so inspiring.
That's on repeat on the way home.
Wow.
100%. I mean, that's just... I don't know how you sing better than that. That's just
No,
that's
that's as
un-
good as it gets.
unbelievable.
As good as it gets.
Well, get this. That record was done right at the top of the 90s, right in that moment when Heart had gone to #1 with a song that Ann and Nancy were both sort of turned off by. The big hit, All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, was right before that. And they went, how do we get out of this?
Wow.
And they did this stripped down live record. And who was the arranger? None other than a member of their favorite band, Led Zeppelin, John Paul Jones.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, that's wild, because I was just like, man, mandolin on this?
Yeah.
This is like straight. I
Yeah.
was in my mind, I was like, man, I want to hear Ann on like a bunch of Zeppelin's stuff.
Oh!
And then it was like, turns out
Yeah.
Turns out we can do that.
that's already
tonight.
happened in parallel universe.
Let's talk a little bit about how we know each other.
Let's do it.
Dave, I met you back in 2019 on the Heart Love Alive tour.
I was thinking about that too. I think about that tour a lot. It was really fun. I think it might be the most fun tour I have done ever.
What's an example of why?
Because the lineup was insane. It was crazy. I mean, first of all, we played 30 minutes.
And you were playing with, just so
We
we
were
know.
playing with L. King. That's what I was playing with.
El King.
And we were first of 3 on this on a Heart tour. And then the band after us was either Sheryl Crow or Joan Jett, and then Heart. And then
Dude,
Heart,
come on, man.
And then so for us, we played 30 minutes. A lot of people showed up for our set, which is kind of rare for a first of 3, but it was a really unique bill. But we played 30 minutes, and then we got to watch all of these amazing, like legends. And then we got to meet all these amazing. We did a long. It was a long tour.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to and that's how Criss and I met, and everybody was so nice. We got to meet everybody, all the bands, all the artists. Everybody was it was like a summer camp, and it was really fun. It was a special time. It was a special time. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Wow, man. And then how do we meet, Criss?
And then Theo and I met because, as the listeners will have heard and discussed, we just moved to Nashville about 5 months ago. And I got invited to this Heart Consciousness Journey thing by a college buddy of mine. And I was hanging out with this college buddy a lot, and then Theo was his neighbor.
Yeah.
And our first interaction, I had no idea who Theo was as a career or anything. I just met him as a dude who we were both nerding over how much we loved Wicked.
Yeah. That's true. That was the connection point.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, we have to hold hands while we talk about Wicked.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna admit that I was playing that on piano today, and having
Yes.
and my girlfriend was singing it with her friend, and I
man.
was kind of butchering it, but I got through it. But I really like it too. It's kind of a, I mean, it's really good,
Dude,
right?
Wicked
Yeah.
is, well, that's what Criss and I connected so hard on it. I was like, because I don't have a ton of, I don't know the history of, attempts at a musical in film, but just seeing that movie, I was like, this has to have been groundbreaking. This is incredible. This is like, I asked a couple of my deep theater homies I was like, has this ever happened before? And they were like, no, it's total. And I'm like, this is a big deal, right? And they're like, oh yeah. And you said the same.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God that Hollywood nailed this. Thank you for, everybody. In other words, the fact that it was a big pop production and it was as deep as it could be on the like real level, on every level, was just such a kind of almost like a relief for me to see something in the mainstream be like so on point and so vulnerable and so authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't. Why not? Like, why shouldn't that be the standard? You know? And it was achieved. So, thank you, Wicked. I was crying so hard watching that thing.
Yeah,
man.
it's pretty tough. I went in just, first time I watched it, I just went in being like, no, this isn't gonna break me.
Uh-huh.
And it does.
I know. I think it's ruined zoos for me for sure. As if I don't know if they were already ruined, maybe, but it solidified the ruining of cages and animals in them. I had to quit the cruise ship gig because of caged dolphins.
Ooh, yeah.
Couldn't take it.
Right on.
Yeah.
I feel you. I've not had that direct experience, but I feel like I would be like, okay, yeah.
I didn't know that was a normal thing on the cruise. I've only been on one, but yeah, if there were caged dolphins, I think I would have been.
It's like,
a little upset.
isn't this the only other animal that fornicates for pleasure? And you're gonna put it in a cage underwater? Come on,
Exactly.
But
guys.
you're on water. You're on water on a boat, and you've got them in a cage on on their natural habitat. It seems.
Yeah, and it was a cage right off the side of the ship. It was probably, 12 foot by 12 foot, and there seemed to be like 10 dolphins in it. And the cage was like, a foot above water. Was it the air place for them to like poke their nose up?
I'm no marine biologist, but it just doesn't sound like enough space for them dolphins.
No, this is really fun podcasting so far. Wah, wah.
Hit a lot of subjects though.
Well, are we gonna, just out of curiosity, I feel like, are you going to DJ some Anne for us? Is that part of what we're gonna be diving into here?
Yes, I think we're going to be celebrating Anne when the moment arises, and when we run out of things to say.
Okay.
And but also, this is fascinating to me because you guys know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know you each without you guys together. So now you're together in front of me, and I want to know how you know each other.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of. Do you remember when we actually met?
I was thinking about that today.
How we know each other, but
I know how too, and I can't remember. I'm not sure if I can trace the exact year, but I want to say it's probably about 15 years or something like that, because it's college time.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think it's like 2006 or 7, probably, right?
Whoa, so yeah, my math is off.
Yeah,
max 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's right. So I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, and I started playing music. One of the first people I started playing music with is a guitar player, a multi-instrumentalist, but a brilliant guitar player named Tomek Marinowski. Yeah, he does everything. He's just I've had to deal with that since I've known him. He's like speaks 3 languages, plays all these different instruments, super smart, good at everything he does. It's really annoying.
And he's also a G. Like he's so humble, and he's so like really low key.
Yeah.
And he'll just like, he freaking didn't he flew to Vietnam. Can we say this?
Yeah,
It's too late.
Yeah.
Tomek, God bless you.
Yeah,
He
he'll
flew
like
to
this.
Vietnam, bought a motorcycle, put it in the bay of a bus, right? Took the bus to the top of the country, and then biked biked back, sold it, and went home.
Yeah.
Like it on like over 3 weeks, and had like this life-changing experience. Didn't speak any of the language, like just incredible. I mean, this is like an incredible solo, man. This guy's a real one, dude.
Yeah, and this is when he was back with internal combustion engines. Now he's off that. Now he's doing he's bicycling.
Yeah.
So now and he went to his brother's wedding in Italy, and he flew to like Croatia. He like flew somewhere complete, like a totally different country, like many countries away, and then bicycled.
See, that's what makes me so blessed. Every time I talk, this kind of guy that when you talk to him, see, I'm getting all hype. Just last time I talked to him a couple months ago on the phone, and we talked, and I was like, that day I went to the bike shop, and I was like, all right, I'm biking to, like, and they were like, okay, maybe you want to try the like, do the like day trip first, and I was like, no, man, I'm going to New Mexico. You know, I didn't end up doing either, but like,
he's
inspiring.
Inspiring guy.
Isn't that's totally how I've felt with you lately, by the way. Every conversation we have, you, like, man, at Cafe Rose. Is just, you leave there on such a high of, oh my God, I'm going to do it all. I'm doing everything. It's all going to happen. Yeah. And then it is.
Yeah, it can happen. So I grew up with Tomek. First started playing music with him when we were probably like maybe 12 or something, 12 years old, 13 years old, in Madison, Wisconsin. We played all the time. Fast forward, we go to college. I went to Indiana. He went to Michigan. That's where he met Theo and a bunch of people, and we kept in touch and kept playing throughout our college experiences where we were separated by a state, mostly Indiana. And I would go up there occasionally and kind of play and hang out, and that's when he introduced me to a bunch of people, among them Theo, and immediately it was, inspired by Theo and enjoyed the hang and everything. And then we all gravitated towards or moved to New York after college, and then did some playing and hanging there. And so that's it. So
it's really cool how I mean, people say small, in a way it is the music world.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool connecting fabric.
Yeah.
The world over. It's really wild when you zoom out. I mean, we're so lucky that's one of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing about the music path.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, you make these connections, and they're usually not superficial. If you get into it, then and you had the shared, enjoying the same music, and then there's like this kind of musical and almost like spiritual connection through music. And it's really I was talking to my neighbor who's a retired firefighter from LA, and he was talking. He's like, "Do you have any friends besides musicians?" And then my girlfriend laughed and was like, "Not really." And then he's like, "You know what? When I became a firefighter, that's what they all told me, that's what was gonna happen." He's like, "You're just gonna be immersed with all the firefighters because it's such a deep thing." And he's like, "That's probably what it's kind of like with musicians." I'm like, "Yeah." So
it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is with a lot of things, I think. Or I don't know, but definitely with music. I mean, it makes sense. It's such a it's a cool thing.
And Nashville doesn't have a lack of them either.
No, and I've been so excited actually by how diverse it is so far. The stuff I've been going to, people are playing different shit, which was unexpected.
Yeah, I think it's changed. I have only been here for 2 years, but I from what I've heard, it's definitely changed in the last 5 to 10 years as becoming more eclectic, more styles. And coming from New York, for me, that was something that I was like, oh, is Nashville, is it going to be a little bit more of a smaller slice of musical genres? But I've been very pleasantly surprised. So it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
Sick. I'm going to play for you now another Ann song that just came to mind. That was recorded here in Nashville a couple years ago at the Smokestack Studio.
Cool.
You guys know that studio at all?
Just from you talking about it, but I have never been there. Paul Moak, right?
Yes, sir.
Destiny, swine and pearls, rebel hearts against the wild, so-called friends, a bitter test, changes wash away the rest. Burning with a hungry flame, so whispers in the name, dancing in the lunar shine. In your kisses I feel fine. The devil can take me under. I love you still. The angels fall asunder. I love you still. I love you still. Rising sun, moon and rain, secret tears, angry pain, loneliness, torn apart. In my dreams I feel your heart. The devil can take me under. I love you still. Angels fall asunder. I love you still. Oh, I love you still. Destiny, swine and pearls, rebel hearts against the world. In your kisses I feel fine. In your kisses I feel fine. In your kisses I feel fine. In your kisses I feel fine.
I was going through our story, the times we've shared together, the wildly inspirational Dean of it all for me.
Yeah.
I remember back when we took a trip, you and me and Dean and my friend Tyler, who's
Right,
our
yeah.
good friend here now in Nashville.
Yeah.
And we watched a lot of Twin Peaks.
Yes, we did.
We got a question from someone too, just about visually, what we're kind of into visually, art-wise. And I was thinking of Twin Peaks. I was thinking
Yeah.
of our Coen Brothers loves. And
Oh, yeah, Coen Brothers for sure. If you put all of us together, including Tyler, I would think that David Lynch would be the best description.
yeah.
Oh. And we watched a whole bunch of Coen Brothers too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing trip. And it was so easy. It was just a bunch of people gathered together in a house in Florida somewhere, in an Airbnb, just hanging out for a few days for no reason.
No work.
Yeah.
That's what I think helped make it so magical. 'Cause
Yeah.
there was kind of that set right at the top. Like, we're not working on anything.
Right.
We're literally vacationing
Yeah.
right now.
And we slept and cooked and ate and went out and watched movies and just hung out in our PJs, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And just, it was very, very cool.
We watched the making of documentary on Apocalypse Now.
Right, yeah.
One of the greatest filmmaking documentaries ever made.
Yeah.
And we were sitting around out back around the patio table each night after a movie, and we just talk about the movie and talk about things. And I remember we talked about Hanson that night.
Oh, yeah. At that time, I was going to a hairdresser in Florida, and she was a deep, really committed Hanson fan. And every time I would go in there to get a haircut or something, it'd be all about Hanson. What are they doing? And where are they going to be? And all the inside stuff. Yeah, Hanson was a big topic.
Yeah, and we pulled up their acoustic version of Bop.
Oh, right.
It
Yeah.
was actually pretty dang cool.
Yeah. Bop.
Bop. So still.
Still.
Oh, and also on that trip, I just remembered we went to a grocery store, you and I,
Yeah.
and Alone was playing as we were walking down the aisle. As it does.
It never fails. So, or like when you're in Home Depot or something. But yeah, we went and we got stuff for dinner and salad and bread and, you know, all the stuff. Just so cool.
Yeah.
Like people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, the song Still that's on Another Door is a love song to Dean after 10 years of marriage. And we always say that to each other. That's our little unspoken thing, or, you know, short, sweet thing that we say to each other that's packed with meaning. You don't have to say, "Oh, I love you, babe." You can just say "still," and he knows exactly what I mean, and she knows what he means. You know.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful song too.
Oh yeah.
Very heartfelt.
Quite the Bukovac touch.
Yeah.
Bukovac. Got to see him sometime
Tom
here too.
Bukovac, yes.
Once we get back, Tommy boy.
Yeah, he's been invited to about 3 events now, and he always writes back and goes, "Oh, I miss you guys so much," but he never shows up.
Tommy boy.
Tommy.
We're calling you out.
We'll be fighting in the streets with our children at our feet, and the morals that they worship will be gone. And the men who spurred a song, seeking judgment of all the wrong, they decide, and the shotgun sings the song. Tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take our bow for the new revolution. Violet and green at the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. And I'll get on my knees and pray. We tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take a bow for the new revolution. Smile and grin, the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play. Yes, just like yesterday. And I'll get on my knees and pray. But don't get fooled again. No, 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 no.
I don't think I've probably really told you how I got in with Ann, but might as well say it here.
Sure.
I sent an email one day when I was stoned to Hart's former manager.
Brave. Extra brave. You sent an email stoned? Cut the scene, dude.
And I heard back in 20 minutes when I was still too stoned to like fathom the response I was getting back. But I pitched a video idea. She was going solo. And I was like, if the solo career of Ann doesn't have a video person yet, I would love to help with that, because at that time what I knew was if Ann goes solo, she sings less Heart songs live, and she sings more like Aretha Franklin. She was doing like a cover of I Put a Spell on You at that time, which was so just seductive and insane with her voice. And I was so into that idea of working with that and just being around that voice, because covers to me are much less taboo than they are in some people's eyes. I think when you have a great voice that can enhance a song, they should totally take that and play with it, you know.
Especially if you're doing an arrangement of it. You know, it didn't used to be a taboo thing at all. It was like, that's all there was. It was like songs and then singers who sang them.
Yeah.
People would do the other part, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue, please.
Anyway, I heard back in 20 minutes from Dean in this email inviting me down to their house to do an interview with Ann and record the band rehearsals that were happening at her house down in Florida. So I went down 3 weeks later, and I'm so lucky because I have our first interaction on camera.
Oh, wow.
And now that we're 8 years in and friends, and deep friends, that's so cool that I have that
awesome
to look at and be like, oh shit, we did just connect so quickly and easily, and there was something there, you know.
Yeah.
Even now, as the more woo I get, I'm like, oh, maybe we ruled a country together in a past life or something. I knew this person already, you know? Somehow I knew this person.
I'd pay taxes in that country. Although maybe I wouldn't have to because you rule it.
Yeah.
I just do what you say.
Then you get a tax break. Yeah.
But anyway, folks, Ann was going to be here tonight, but we had a final day of rehearsals for Heart, and we're leaving tomorrow to go to Vegas for the tour. And we were like, you know, Ann deserves a night off. Let's celebrate her. These are my friends. Let's all just sit around and enjoy what Ann has already given to us. She's given so much. Let's give her the night off. We'll enjoy her voice together. And I thought of the story that made me think of going back for a moment was when you were just talking about what her voice sounded like to you and just how great it was. When I was in college with Pitar and all these guys we know, I got a job singing on a cruise ship right out of college, and the first paycheck I got, so the first money I made as a singer, I spent like the whole paycheck on a solo trip to Vegas because Heart was performing at the House of Blues 3 nights in a row.
Amazing.
And it's a general admission floor, which is rare for a rock band these days. And so all 3 nights, and tickets was $50 a night. So I just got a hotel room at Circus, the cheapest, one.
Nice,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Okay.
And then just went by myself, then walked down the strip to Mandalay Bay or wherever it was. 3 nights in a row of just getting full body chills, because Ann was the only singer that at that point had ever given me chills. And so I was obsessed.
Wow,
I had to go every night that I could just to be bathed in that and to feel that.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
what it's about.
now I get to do that
That's
at all
awesome.
of them.
Yeah.
Man, well, it just makes me think of, like, when we heard those recordings, and when you hear her sing, it's like, there's a thing that the only way I know how to say it is, like, what the phrase that comes up to me is like, I believe you. When you hear a singer and you just believe them. And it's not the same as having impeccable technique or delivering like sort of flawless performance even, It's this whole other dimension, and it's like that's the magic, man. And I feel when you hear someone sing in that way, you actually know how to do it too. It like tells you how to do it if you pay attention, because maybe some people, like, in other words, that transcends even her technique, which is insane. You could get by on the technique alone, but that's not what's taking us there. It's like this whole other, like, emotional commitment that instructs me how to sing. Like, it shows me what to let go of. It shows me what to fall into. Thank you, Ann.
Yeah. No, that really is the deep stuff, though. It's not. I mean, that's a good point. It's not. It's the stuff that's very hard to teach. With a voice, it's particularly special, but it also extends to instruments.
100%.
And it's that kind of honesty and immediate connection with people, when it's like you can connect with people immediately, and it's not technique can facilitate it sometimes, but it's something you can't teach. It's like the fourth dimension or something. It's this extra thing that you hear with her voice. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I wonder, as we get older, it's like, it does not an age thing though, but do you find yourself dropping into that more easily? Like, it's like, man, I don't have anything else to do because I can't prove any other shit. I just have to be this. Here we go. That was a suggestive question.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, you do, Dave. I've heard you do it.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, I know. It's like
You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that hearing this recording is like, that's the path, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
hey, here's the path, guys.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and I just like it's amazing how much a vocal too can just, as somebody that a lot of what I do is backing up vocalists or playing and supporting vocalists, and it's just amazing how everything falls in line from the vocal, like the phrasing, like the vocal. I mean, I'm hearing like the rhythmic. Now getting into like the music stuff, but like the articulations are so perfect, and like the timbre of the voice, the articulations when the attack and when things cut off, and it's just like it makes me really want to play drums when you hear singers sing like that. And that's what I think about when I'm playing drums. I'm thinking about vocal. Is that Levon?
That's why you sound so good. I love your drumming, man. In fact, and I wanted to say,
it is drumming. Are you kidding me?
And I would love to play sometime. Let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it this week.
All right,
Okay.
I'm around. I got time.
I heard you. You said that.
Yeah, yeah. We got it on.
It's on record.
It's on record. But it's an interesting thing. It's like. When I occasionally am singing like backgrounds and I'm playing drums, all of I tend to play drums better while I'm singing because I'm thinking about the stuff that I'm thinking about the vocal first, and the drums and the vocals are kind of merging, and you're like, whoa, the drums are helping the vocals and the vocals are helping the drums. So when you hear an amazing singer that has like all that stuff together, you're just like, as a drummer, you're just like, you know exactly where to put the backbeat because like the vocal is telling you to do it, and it makes the drums groove even harder, and then everything falls in line. And when you hear stuff like when you hear singing and a track like that, you're just like, it's like gold for a drummer. You're just like, you're like, please let me play with you.
Yeah, it tells you what to do.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's the main thing I have to share with drummers is like, what are you listening to while you're playing? Are you listening to yourself? Yeah. If you are, oops.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the vocal, you will play the right drum part.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's and it's so important. Criss, this is turning into a drum podcast now for 30 seconds
about that.
for a minute. Yeah. But no, it's very true. And yeah.
I mean, even like, this is a drum podcast, but just singing the song yourself.
Yeah. Yes, sing the song while you're playing. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that going to that. Well, I guess it was 2019 when we were on the road together. That was so cool. It was just like, and I'm not knocking a lot of modern groups or whatever, but there's a lot of, and I do it because I MD and set up tracks for people, but there's a lot of like, we got a bunch of computers on stage, we got a lot of backing tracks, we got a lot of stuff going on, and it was just like, that tour was just a lot of bands that were just playing music as a band. There's singers that you're following the singer, and that's something that like our generation, we still have experience knowing about that, but a lot of people that are younger now, it's like, I don't think that younger players know this idea where it's like, if the singer is like goes to the chorus early or like drops a beat, they're, because they're on backing tracks, they're like, no, singer, you're wrong. I mean, I remember just being like, no, you're following the singer.
Right.
Like that's the melody, that's like the thing, and it's weird because I don't know if younger generations are quite, there's that vibe of like, or watching the singer and being like cutting, like we're gonna do a breakdown right now, and you're like, no, what? No, I'm.
Yeah, because you're following the track. You mean?
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. If that's being lost on the younger generations, I will say, watching, I think playing as a band in 2025, and really really delivering, like really committing and delivering, it pretty much blows people away because they've seen so much of not that.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it's kind of wild when you do that and people go like, I'm not, and you're like, oh, you've never like
it's been around for a minute.
You know, you just haven't heard any other band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Heart doesn't use a click track even, and the Tonight Show last year was very nervous about that.
Yeah, and that's
are you
funny.
going to be able to time it to the commercial break? It's like, yes.
Dude, I saw a clip the other day of the Michael Jackson Super Bowl thing where he just stays on the...
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to be able to tie it to the click? This guy said, I'm going to take my glasses off, and that's when you start the track. It's like, when? At which point? Which point? And when he touches his glasses? I know. Incredible.
I love that clip. And that's
$1 billion writing on that?
Yeah.
An actual billion?
So, yeah, it was so amazing. I love that clip. And you know, that stuff's really special, you know, like following the singer, bands playing, the because all this stuff's about this, it's about communication. Like one of the big things for me about music is about, you know, getting ideas across and like bringing people together. I mean, it can be a thing that's very personal for you, but then, you know, you put the music out and it connects people. But also when you're on stage, you're also connecting. And then like there's a lot of, I really want to not be in musical situations where I'm in a bubble and I'm not.
Right.
And because it's like the thing is like if with the honor of speaking comes the duty of listening or something. What's that? That's somebody else's quote.
Yeah, but
I don't remember whose it is.
Sorry, I wrote it on I already got it tattooed. It says, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
but I think about that a
say it
lot
again?
because it's
With the
like
honor
with like the honor
privilege of speaking, let's say?
the privilege
Maybe?
of speaking. I think that's actually what it was
Okay,
originally.
but change the name, dude. Change the tattoo.
With the privilege of speaking comes the duty of listening. And I think that you know, just classic bands, I mean, that will always be something that I'm very interested in, is bands that do that. And this is not me sitting here saying that no bands are out there doing it nowadays, but I think that was one of the really special things about being on that tour and seeing this, because it was not only really fun, but every night I got to hear and just rip it vocally, but also just like see real bands playing and real connectivity on stage, on really big stages, and night after night. It was really awesome.
And the art of playing at that size of a stage, you know, and to that level of an audience. I mean, there's really not a ton of people who know how to do that, you know, and who because it's such a rare thing to have been able to perform at that level. So these are masters, you know, of that craft. That's so cool that you got to witness that firsthand.
Yeah, it was fun.
There were a lot of magical moments on that tour.
Oh yeah.
You were in New Hampshire, right?
Oh yeah, with one of our favorite venues on Lake Winnipesaukee.
Yeah.
What do they call? Did they change the name?
I had to do the What About Bob?
Yeah. Well, that is. I mean, they filmed it there. Didn't they? That was like the real deal. Well, we have like a little connection now because I biked. I took those little bikes.
Mm-hmm,
so that's the First Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion. Is that what it's called?
Don't remember.
I don't remember.
At all.
And it's kind
I
of
remember the tree house.
What a question. Is that called First Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion? It's like, or was it Tommy Hilfiger at Jones Beach Theater? Top Pepsi or something.
Let's cut to our sponsor now. It's kind of sad that it might be my favorite venue in the country, and I don't even know the name of it. But
that's okay, because the name is First Bank of something. Pavilion.
I'm gonna get it because I can picture the little
Guilford, New Hampshire.
Guilford
is the town.
Ooh.
Because there was not a canteen. Did you get a canteen?
Yeah, a little canteen.
Dang it, I can't remember what was written on it. I thought that was gonna bring me my memory of the name.
That's a very special venue, and they have, you know, it's like summer camp, they say, for like musicians, because they've got a like a mini golf, they've got a heated pool with a big screen TV that has a feed of the concert
Wow.
going on. They've got really great catering, and they kind of do like the seafood. They always do one night of like, you know, they'll do like I don't know what
Dolphin.
crabs or
I'm sorry. It was a callback. So I was like, don't say it, Theo. Don't say it. And then I was like, I said it, didn't I?
No, it's okay. We gotta callbacks are good and important.
They're necessary.
I biked down to the lake and met some locals with some of the guys in the band, and this was on this Heart tour, and they're like, wow, Heart's playing tonight? Oh my god, this is amazing. And then we ended up, I didn't know anybody in Guilford, New Hampshire, so I'm like, yeah, I'll put you on the list.
You really?
And they're like, yeah, I know, it's a big surprise. And they said, they're like, well, I'll tell you what, you guys give us tickets, we'll take you out on our jet skis.
Yes.
And I said yes.
Let's go.
So we kind of did
thing.
this trade.
This is
We're
the
like, yeah,
trade.
we're gonna put you on the list for the show, just so you can get free tickets, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then now we've gone back there a handful of times, and we know this family, so now they take us on the boat every time. And Joey,
Dude,
the
that's
guitar player,
so
took his 7-year-old kid and his wife and went out a day before we even had to be in town and just hung out with these locals in Guilford and went out on the boat.
This is the kind of thing that makes me, like, my heart explode with joy, man.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's on the island of Madeira right now with his partner and their daughter, and he sent me a picture the other day of a picture of me on the wall of this place because I've made such good friends with the people that own this music school, and then we did this event, and then so we took a photo, and he's like, dude, I'm like, just you start to become. Like you have you make such intimate connections with people all over the world, and it's things like that where it wasn't even on the gig.
Yeah,
that's so cool, man.
Wasn't even on the gig, and everybody, you know, music is this pretty powerful uniting thing. It makes, you know, there's all these beautiful connections, like this kind of crazy trilogy triangle that we have here of connections, but also just all kinds of, you know, I mean, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. You know, you get in the car, you turn on the radio, there's music. You go to the store, there's music. It's this thing that is very cool and powerful, and it can connect you with a lot of people that are musicians, but it can also connect you with you know, people that have jet skis.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the key to the road.
That's so good.
That is amazing. And speaking of just people that you meet, I feel the need to give a shout out to a couple of fans who you actually came out to the last show. I really remember seeing them and hanging with them. Dwayne and Sheila. Dwayne just passed away a couple of days ago. Sheila said online, and so I've been thinking about him a lot. He was like the sweetest soul in the world. I just remember that day at the City Winery, the show you came to, Dave. He and Sheila had a table right up near the front, and they wanted to talk to me for far too long than I had time for, but I could not help it but just keep sitting there and keep talking and get way behind on all my tasks because they are just so the sweetest people in the world. So, Dwayne, thank you for coming to those shows. Thank you for listening to Anne. I know she so appreciated having you there, and Dean loves you guys so much too. And there's a song that really, by gosh, will be performed at my funeral, and I got to play that right now. This, what a perfect song. Let's just have a listen here for Dwayne.
I asked a distant star, I wonder where you are. The shadow at my door, a friend who is no more. I watched him go to the wind. I closed my eyes. Goodbye, goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, goodbye, my friend. Yeah. A trick of light upon our eyes. A trick of time upon our lives. Ancient songs cry out to you, and surely this sweet scent is slipping through the glass of time. Surely this sweet scent will run out by and by. And while the days come down to you are just a tremor passing through.
Yeah, I love that song. I love that song.
What was that song written for?
Well, when I lived in Seattle all those years, I had a gardener whose name was Jeffrey, and he was a sweet, beautiful gay man who took care of my grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just loved it so much, and he was always there. Sometimes he was off the clock, and he just came because he loved to work in the gardens and the beds and take care of the trees and all that. And he ended up with AIDS, and he succumbed back when it was easy to do. And so we had a memorial for him where he had asked to be, his ashes spread in the gardens at my house. And I thought that was wonderful, because it's just like Jeffrey returning to join with the plants and the trees and the grasses and all that. So sand was written about him. He was very sweet. When my children were really young, he used to show them how to be in the garden and like what certain things meant, the signs of spring, and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And if the lyric has shifted at all for you, how is it different than what you singing it today versus you singing it 20 years ago?
The lyrics haven't changed, but the meanings have, because now I've known a lot more people that are very close to the door, and a few have stepped through. So it's more about the circle of life and death, and it all being an infinity circle. That's really how it's changed. I think when the song was first written, it was more specific about a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you these days with people going through the door?
Yeah. Well, I haven't had anybody extremely close to me do it yet. No one, well, except my parents, of course. That was back in the early 2000s. But I haven't had anyone lately who's of my tribe. And so I can't answer that really, how it would be now. Except that I think it would be easier just because I have a little bit of, I feel more philosophic about it. And then not one who's going to go, oh, I'm so sad. Somebody's died and gone to heaven, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think that way.
Yeah.
It's
So you don't think that way even to yourself,
right.
right? Wild.
I think that's what's meant by faith, but it isn't a Christian faith.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. It's it's just the idea of the perpetual nature of life and death, and how connected they are.
I heard an interesting question get brought up one time that I think about every so often, but maybe I could get your philosophical thought on this. What is it that makes life insist upon itself?
Yeah. I think you just have to look at a couple of blades of grass to answer that question. It's like the ultimate need, the fire that burns, that is all about survival. I've just seen the cycles of the seasons too many times now to not notice how things need to just struggle and strive to survive. And that's all they care about. They're single-minded.
Take a straight and stronger course to the corner of your life. Make the white queen run so fast, she hasn't got time to make you wise. Cause it's time and time with your time, and this news is captured. Just remember that the goal is for us all to capture all we want. To any black square. Don't surround yourself with yourself. Move on back to squares. Send an instant karma to me. Initial it with love and care. Time with your time, and this news is captured for the queen to use. Don't surround yourself with yourself. Move on back to squares. Send an instant karma to me. And answer it with loving care. Yourself. Cause it's time and time with your time, and this news is captured for the queen to use. Cause it's time and time with your time, and this news is captured.
Do you meditate on the road?
This will be the first
This is the first time.
because the meditation just started a month and a half ago.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm taking my yoga mat to dance every day.
good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just one or two little things that you can do. It doesn't even have to be that much time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep you. I brought on the last tour. I'm pretty sure I brought like my blanket that I like.
Yeah.
And it was like, just made it feel a little more like my home.
I haven't done,
You
it's
know?
crazy. I haven't been doing this for years, and I haven't done it once. And I've seen other people do it, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. And then every time I leave, get dropped off at the bus or whatever, I've just got a freshly laundered stock bus comforter that has probably just had so many disgusting people sleeping in it. And then I'm like, yeah, this it
fine.
makes sense.
I mean, also, it's cool to just roll with the punches, man.
Well, I think
Like, because life in its whatever is arising is the medicine too. You know,
yeah, that's true.
Totally.
the raw shit is the shit.
Yeah.
Because we don't need anything. Also,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, but I should bring a I mean, it's just I should bring
nice.
bring something from
it's
home.
nice. You know, it might have a little blanket, David.
Yeah.
No, don't
That
get
makes
down
me
on
think
yourself
of-
about it.
That makes me think of one of my favorite epiphanies so far that I've had on these journeys.
You'll bring your tea. It'll be great.
And I
Yeah.
remember saying this to Theo, that I had in one of my first solo mushroom journeys, where it's just me in that chair. And also in that journey, I went through the death of my own voice. And because it's always been scary to me to lose my voice as a singer. And so I went through the eventual death of my voice, and then that took me into the death of, like, the loss of my hands functioning and my legs functioning. And by God, the next day, if I didn't dance and sing like never before, like, you know, just, oh shit, now's the time. Take the opportunity to play with these gifts that you've been given for this amount of time. Who knows what happens after this? But wherever I am after this, I don't have this voice. I don't have these hands. You know,
What a
so it was
beautiful
me,
sentiment.
like, thanking them and talking. I ended up just speaking out loud and crying, and I wasn't much of a crier before these last 5 months, but just bawling, speaking to my voice as if it was my friend who I was going to miss the hell out of.
Yeah. It's amazing
beautiful,
how that is beautiful. And I think that what's so powerful about psilocybin in that respect is it resets things. And going in that Michael Pollan book, one of my favorite metaphors was, he's like, your brain is like these tracks down a ski slope, and then the anything that is not positive are these continual treads in the snow. And he's like, you can't, and when you do psychedelics, when you do psilocybin, it's like fresh powder. And so you can make these new connections. That fresh powder, to me, is when you go through an experience like that, and then you say something that I cherish. My voice is gone, my hands are gone. Like, you look at it in a different way. It's dying in real time, and then you learn to appreciate it again. And that's what a lot of these psychedelics do.
It's not you.
Right. Yeah, it's a disassociate. You disassociate.
So like me, the next day, all of a sudden, I was less afraid of, like, someone respecting me for not singing well.
Right.
You know, because I'm like, oh wait, that's probably not, like, Theo doesn't even know I sing yet, so, and he loves me. You know, there's like those kinds of things where when you are a performer, your talent is what you think people like about you to a certain degree for so long.
That's an interesting thing that I should think about more, because it's tough. It's tough to deal with. It's actually like I feel like people that aren't artists or musicians or painters or whatever, whatever thing they do, it's there's actually a lot of pressure. There's actually a lot of pressure on yourself, and
God.
Things like that where you're like, you're constantly thinking about how people perceive you more than probably many other professions or many other activities. It's exhausting.
Yeah, this reminds me of Andre Agassi's book, the great tennis player Andre Agassi. Man, I can't recommend that book highly enough.
Yeah.
But the general notion is, it just doesn't give anything away because it's the whole thing in the book, but he hated tennis.
Wow.
He hated it so deeply. He couldn't stand it. He hated tennis. This was like his reality was, I hate tennis so much. I can't even describe how much I hate tennis. But I'm the best in the world at it. But I fucking hate it. I hate it with my whole heart. And then, because it was like he grew up in this super abusive situation, and it was like that was his only way to get love.
Wow.
And but he could also never get it. He could never get it from his dad, ever. Wow. And so but he had this talent, right? And so the story is this arc of him having to inevitably, you can only sustain that motivation for so long.
Yeah.
At a certain point, he can't do it anymore, and he cracks. And then he can't even qualify after being number one in the world. He gets eliminated in the first round of like a regional tournament, like on Long Island or some shit. Like he can't hang. Wow. And then he claws his way back to the top again, but from a different place this time,
Yeah.
But he's still, so that, and I think that's kind of what a good story.
Yeah.
We all want love and belonging, and we all have whatever hand we got dealt, but like it seems pretty universal that like the human life is going to contain a certain amount of like, the hero's journey or whatever you want to call it, of like you're going to have to find a more loving, enduring reason for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but if you want to be happy, you do have to.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I think this is about the time in life when people start to crash on, at least I have been on whatever, and some of the stuff you don't even know. You're like, what? But I love music.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? It's like, oh, there's all these shards of stuff that you didn't even know you had made these implicit, these like unconscious commitments in your brain towards, well, no, if not this, then I don't get love. Or if I don't this or that, then I don't get love. From who?
Yeah.
Guess what? From yourself.
Yeah. 100. That is so awesome. And I resonate with that so much. And yeah, I think it is this cycle where at this point in life, you start to really, I think those things start to emerge for people quite a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that cracking can happen unless you kind of start to become aware of that and address it, because there are some unhealthy patterns that evolve even in something as beautiful and lovely as music. There's some stuff there.
Anything could be used for connection or disconnection. I'm learning. So, and if what you're playing for is actually on some level like disconnection from some part of yourself you don't want to feel, then there's only so long you can sustain that.
Yeah.
We're in it now, but I'm about 3/4 of the way through this book by the author Richard Rohr called Falling Upward. He's a Franciscan friar, I think. Okay. So I guess he'd be like a Catholic. And I wasn't raised with any religion, not Catholic. All to say, it's my first time kind of getting this much biblical contextualization of stuff. But he argues, and it hits home pretty hard for me, that like to pass through the first half of life into the second half of life, the first half is like kind of building the vessel, and then the second half is like, what are you filling it with, kind of, so to speak.
Okay.
And it requires, I'm paraphrasing, but it requires the crack. Like it requires some big loss, some embarrassment, some failure, some, if you will, come to Jesus moment. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I mean, that's
Okay.
That's what we use culturally. We say, I had a come
Yeah.
to Jesus moment. But I just really appreciate the framing of like, no. This requires.
Yeah.
It's required. You
Yeah.
can't even get to the fruit. You can't get to the thing until you completely screw up to the point where you're like, oh my God. And that doesn't look the same for all of us.
Right.
But we have an internal thing that, anyway, I've just been digging that, man.
I love that.
Feels on time for me, right on time.
Yeah. That's amazing. I haven't, and that obviously he's not applying any of that stuff to the arts or music, right? This is just
This is just a spiritual journey.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's amazing is that the spiritual journey. I'm not a religious person either, but I'm finding myself to be like, I feel like I'm emerging as way more like spiritual. I never even saw myself as spiritual, and I'm viewing music as like the only way I can really describe it at its deepest level is as a spiritual pursuit.
100%. 100%.
And anytime if I'm making bad choices in music, it's because I'm not viewing it as a spiritual thing. And when I'm not in improving or have the right relationship with music, is because I'm not viewing it as a spiritual thing. So it's really interesting, that book as applied to music.
Yeah, I think you dig it. I want you to read it.
Yeah,
if you're down.
I definitely.
I'll give you
would
my
like
copy,
to.
but
Yeah.
it's every other word is underlined
I love that.
in black marker, dude.
I'm gonna get it on my Kindle. I'm a Kindle guy.
I mess with pen, bro. Okay, you're gonna.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Yeah, that's good.
I know
that's
it's
good.
sad, but
No, it's not sad. It's great. Whatever works.
Small.
It's great. It's good for trips.
It's
for
really
taking
good
on
for
the
trips.
plane.
You can highlight on the Kindle too. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's kind of annoying. Sometimes it doesn't work, and the battery might die.
I gave Theo a copy of this script for the movie I Heart Huckabees.
Oh.
And you watched the movie, right? Or did you read the script?
I've read this. I haven't. I don't think I've actually seen the movie, and if I have, it was
I
so
love this.
long.
You read the script.
Yeah.
That's what you were texting me about. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you watched the movie.
No. Oh no, dude! I've been reading the script.
That's cool as hell.
Yes, man.
Okay.
It was blowing my mind, and I actually, it's funny, Chris. I'm so grateful for you in a myriad of ways, but I felt myself as I reached for the book. I felt like a resistance. Like it was like, this is new. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this. It's that same thing. It's like, this isn't my lane. It's like, what? Read a goddamn page in this freaking book.
Yeah.
And within 10 seconds, I was like, oh my God. Like it was a little scary at first to be new at this format somehow, And it's such a hilarious thing to say, but I read, and then I loved it. I'm loving it. And then I opened Snatch. He also gave me Snatch because I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I prefer reading it having not seen Huckabees. I'm like getting more out of it. Like I can visualize it in Snatch because I've seen Snatch so many times.
Yeah.
And I still love reading it, but reading Huckabees, wow, it's awesome. And of course, I'm then texting you like, oh my God, I am this character. And then I'm like, wait, we're all this character. That's the point of the movie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't even know which I think it's Jason Schwartzman plays him in the movie.
Yep.
That guy. It's like,
Yeah.
yep, that's you.
Jason Schwartzman is going through kind of a midlife crisis situation and finds a card of what are called existential detectives.
Business cards.
So he goes to beat up with them and see what that's about, and those detectives are played by Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin. And shit just ensues.
It's awesome, dude. Now I want to watch the movie, but
Jude Law and Naomi Watts.
Whoa, stacked.
And Mark Wahlberg in the funniest role of his career.
Wow.
Jonah Hill in the first movie of his career.
wow.
Gene Smart.
I don't think I've ever read a screenplay. I don't think I've ever done it.
It also made me want to I'm like, man, I want to act.
Did you
Like-
speak it out loud? when you were
Some of
reading
it,
any
yeah.
Yeah, because I love reading them out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Because then you get to reinterpret. But especially, movies that you haven't seen, you pick up those scripts and you get to fully interpret.
Yeah.
It's just a fun game to do by
So
yourself.
fun, man.
I have nothing but tricks for when you're alone.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Thank you guys for celebrating Anne with me tonight.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so cool
It's
of you
an
guys
honor.
to hang here.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
for having us. Yeah.
You're welcome. It's a joy to show you my space here. Let's go out with a crowd pleaser.
Okay.
And you mentioned Zeppelin earlier, so let's just do the thing.
Well, they're the Zeppelin is the that's what was like. I had to play music. I
Yeah.
heard The Ocean
Yeah.
by Led Zeppelin, and I was like, I have to be a drummer within half a second.
It happened to me too. I snuck into my brother's room and took Zeppelin 2 out and just
Zeppelin 2?
was just like
Amazing.
I was
Yeah,
like, what's going on here, man?
dude.
Yeah.
I can still remember how hard it hit.
Yeah.
I can feel it in my body.
And Houses of Holy. It's just
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you guys gonna come out to a Heart show this year?
I can't wait.
Because they
Definitely.
may or may not be playing something that you've just talked about. I'm not going to give more than that away, but let's play this one that everybody is seeing in the world now and continues to just blow everybody's minds. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Chris.
I love you guys very much.
Love you back, bro.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to hell. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. And she's buying a stairway to hell. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In the tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. Ooh, makes me wonder. Ooh, makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I've seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Don't be alarmed now. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Oh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Hi there, Anne and Criss. My name is Dahlia. I am 16 years old and I'm sending you a message from Sweden. I am a huge Heart fan and I would love to ask you, Anne, a question. What is the most important lesson you've learned along your journey as a musician that you wish you knew when you first started? Much love from Sweden, and I really hope you come here soon, and please greet Nancy from me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. The most important lesson I've learned along the long and winding road, I think, has probably been to thine own self be true, and don't take no for an answer. Yeah, people will try to stop you any way they can. Doesn't matter who you are, or what, if you're a man or a woman or whatever, it's all the same. People don't like to see other people succeed, so they do lots of things to try and deflate your confidence, etc., etc. So yeah, those are important things to remember, especially if you're going to go, if you're going to go into a business like the music business or acting or anything like that. That's the entertainment world or the style world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot harder than you think. You have to give everything to it.
Yeah, thicken your skin up now.
Yeah.
We put it into the podcast last episode that different types of guests could be fun. Mm-hmm. And I reached out to Michio Kaku, the astrophysicist.
Uh-huh.
And while that is intimidating for me and for you, I think, to have
yes.
to speak to an astrophysicist, I started reading his latest New York Times bestseller. Mm-hmm. It's called The God Equation.
Yeah.
And he's sort of on this quest to finish what Einstein started, right? With the theory of everything. And I just wanted to read this part of the book to show you kind of what we can get into him with that puts it in a context I think we can understand and other musical listeners may get this too. So it first started with Einstein wanted to read the mind of God, he said, in an equation that was about an inch long. And string theory says that the universe is not made of point particles, but actually of tiny vibrating strings with each note corresponding to a subatomic particle. If we had a microscope powerful enough, we could see that electrons, quarks, neutrinos, etc., are nothing but vibrations on minuscule loops resembling rubber bands. If we pluck the rubber band enough times and in different ways, we eventually create all of the known subatomic particles in the universe. This means that all the laws of physics can be reduced to the harmonies of these strings. Chemistry is the melodies one can play on them. The universe is a symphony, and the mind of God, which Einstein so eloquently wrote about, is cosmic music resonating throughout space-time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What he said. Yeah. No, that's beautiful.
I've never heard it quite put like that.
Yeah, on so many levels. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, I think that even then, somebody would think, well, yeah, here's the cosmic music, you know, and then somebody else would pop over here and go, but is it really music? Or, yes.
What is the deal with people and metaphors?
Yeah, really, come on. No, I think that's amazing. Yeah, but it's going to be intimidating to have him on.
Yeah. But he's very cool.
In a good way.
And I was reading his books in high school, and I was kind of a dummy.
Yeah.
So I think he has a great way he knows who his audience is.
Yeah.
He wants to get the information to the masses.
Right.
He doesn't want to just sit around in a laboratory with his buddies and talk about
Yeah.
it. He wants to actually explain it to people that have trouble understanding it, because you can't see it.
Right.
And I'm not a mathematician.
And it's unfamiliar. Yeah.
But anyway, that'll be fun. And I haven't gone further into the book yet, but right at the beginning it's like, what lies on the other side of a black hole? Is time travel possible? Are there wormholes to other universes? Higher dimensions?
Wow.
Sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll listen to one more today from Anthony.
Hi, Ann and Chris. This is Anthony from Northeast Pennsylvania, originally from the Bronx, New York. And I have a question, Ann, about your vocal process.
Yes.
I'm a 55-year-old singer. I sang for many years in a gig band, where, as you know, you essentially get bulletproof on stage. I've done musical theater and cabaret, as well as my own singer-songwriter shows. My voice has changed over the years. In my 20s, it was clean and smooth, and I always wanted some grit that I eventually got in my 30s and 40s. Now that I'm in my mid-50s, I've noticed a marked change. I still have the same range, however, it might take some navigating to get there, or songs just sit better in a lower key, because my voice is fuller now than it was in my early days. And I also rely more so on warm-ups now that I never did before. I know, I was a bad student. So I'm curious to know, in your amazing career, what you might do differently now as opposed to early on in your career with your vocal process. Thank you in advance if you get this in reply, and also for the years of music that, as a young gay Bronx boy, I was able to get lost and found in. You're a gem. Peace and continued good health.
Thank you. Wow, the one main thing that I do differently now is I warm up just extensively. Like, before every show, I usually warm up for an hour, and it's just by myself in the dressing room, singing along with other challenging singers, CDs from top to bottom. Like, I'll choose an Elton John record and just sing the whole record along with him. And that way, you don't feel like you're having to do boring warm-ups, like singing scales and all that. I mean, I know that helps warm up your voice too, but can you sustain that over decades? I don't know. And it's natural for your voice to change as you get older, because your voice does get fuller and have more to it, It's just got for instance, I think that maybe when I was in my 20s, I sang higher and, like you say, more smooth, but I couldn't reach the lower register, and I don't hear my singing as having the same soul at all. All those years of learning things and ups and downs and all that, they really do pile up in your soul, and they affect every part of your body, not just your voice, but especially your voice. So warm up and just open up your soul by singing along with somebody else and not paying attention. And don't get clutched up about it. Just sing.
Well, that's it, folks, for tonight. Ann is this Heart Tour is just about to launch. We are just a few days away.
Yeah.
So by God, you should be resting that voice. What are we doing here?
By
with
God,
microphones at the table.
Yeah.
These microphones out of here. No, and thank you all for listening, and thank you all for being cool as what we're going to do here, what we're thinking here is with Theo and Dave, and thank you, Theo and Dave, for dropping by and doing a little Ann listening session with me last night. When we're out on the road here, there will be, an off night here and there that Ann and I may get on a mic, but also, hey, we may want to give her another night off, and I might go out to the bus with a couple band guys and listen to some music with you people.
Yeah.
And then Ann can come in and commentate a little. And,
Yeah.
It's just this show is whatever we want it to be.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure it's nice and entertaining for all the folks. And
Yeah.
we sure appreciate you listening. So thank you very much, and leave a review. Send us an email to thinks@annwilson.com. Send us your voice memos, and we may play one and answer your question right here.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping in.
Yeah. All right.
Night, night.